Hello, and welcome to another tutorial. Today we're going to do a walkthrough of the OUAC application. The OUAC is Ontario Province in Canada. Their common application for the universities that are listed on that particular application. We'll show you what those are. If you're applying to a college, they have a separate application for that. But this is the larger public universities and some private universities within the province of Ontario. I've already created my account. It's the first thing you need to do when you log in and get on the website. So I'm going to share my screen and then we'll continue on with our tutorial. So from the OUAC applications main page, in the top left, you will see My Account. When you click that, it will ask you to log in if you already have a login, or just to create your account, which you will need. So this is a time where you can go ahead and start that. I just went through those steps myself. You put in your name, you put in your birth date, you create a username and a password, and then it will take you to the page as a logged in person to start the type of application you need. We're doing an undergraduate application this morning. And there's some information here essentially telling you that you are applying to an Ontario university, and you will just agree to the conditions as we go through. So now we are in the main area. We're about to start, as they put on their image there. On the right side, you could see some tutorials similar to the ones that we're doing this morning. If you need to add information to your profile, you can do so here. There's some FAQs, and we will just jump right in, start our application. So we have on the right the timeline of the application components, your personal details, background, choices, documents, and payment. We'll get all the way up to the payment during our session today. You can obviously review some things and watch so that you're prepared, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So it has the information that I put in when I created my account, the first and last name. If I want to put a nickname here, I could put that. If I wanted to add a middle name, I can also put that. I have a birth date listed here. I have to put a gender, so I'll put what I say is prefer not to answer. You could put whatever you'd like to put, unless it's not one of those things. Are you a first generation college goer? Is either of your parents had a college education? If not, then you can say yes or no based on your personal information. I do have parents that attended a university, so I have to say yes. I'm an international student here in Thailand, so I am not a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. I have no status in Canada. My country of citizenship, we'll use Thailand because that's where I'm sitting today. My first date of entry, if I'm applying and going to a university, that will start in the fall, most likely in September. We probably are in the month of August, so I can be there and prepare and get my housing. So I'm going to choose August of 2024. I am not a First Nation person in Canada, so that's a no. And that is an indigenous culture there. And you would have a list of the different types here. My first language will be Thai, so I will choose Other. And I want to communicate in English. If you are accepted and will end up going to a university, you will have to go through the visa process, which your university will support you in. You'll have to go to an embassy where you might have to verify the documents that you are showing them so that you can get approved for your student visa. So here they're saying we want to do some surveys, questions. What ethnic group do I identify with? So I'll go ahead and put my personal one, which is white. If I was a Thai student, I might put something either multicultural if I'm a mixed culture person, or I would find one that is more related to where I live. So Southeast Asian might be the most appropriate if I am 100% Thai. You can also prefer not to answer, but you do have to put something in the box. I do not have a particular religion, so I'm going to put no religion. I'll just say prefer not to answer when it comes to this question. And I do not identify as having a particular impairment or disability, but if I did, there's no bias against you in this particular situation. You could put if you've been diagnosed with a learning issue or some other version of mental health or physical disability. And now we're going to put in the information that we use for pretty much every application here, our contact information. Post-secondary means after high school. So because I have not attended anything outside of secondary yet, secondary is our high school, I will say no. And now is where I will add in our high school. Because we have never had a graduate, I'm not expecting our school to show up on this list. But it's possible. And it does not. So then it's telling us to choose not in list and provide the institution name after. So now I will look up not in list, and now I'll type in. And I'm going to default just to make it simple. And I started there in 2020 as the 9th grader in August and to present. So I'll say 2024 June is when our graduation will occur. And I'm in grade 12. And we'll look for the American U.S. high school diploma, if it's called that, or just high school or secondary school. I don't have another high school, but if I went to 9th grade or 10th grade or 11th grade somewhere else, I would add it to that list. And let's see what they're asking for. My years of English language. Sometimes you can get your English language exams like TOEFL or IELTS waived if you remark that you are in a program that has been teaching you English for 3 or 4 years. So I'm going to say I've been in English language, so 4 years in Thailand. I am going to do advanced placement exams in June or May. So yes. And I have not used an academic agent. And now they have the education information they need for me. Now, activities are a list of things that you've been doing in your high school time, not necessarily middle school or elementary. If it's been in your 9th grade timeline, whether it's in school or out, it's appropriate to put. So let's add an activity. We'll call this Verso Plus. And I've been doing this since 2021, since August. And we're doing it currently. Because it's not 2024 yet, it's not going to fit for that, but we'll just say June 2024 to present. There we go. That helps. And we'll save that. And we'll say that we've been doing high school soccer. And we started in 2020. but we stopped after last school year ended. You would obviously put more activities if you have more activities, and it's asking to start with the most recent ones first. So we did ours in the correct order, ones we're currently doing, and ones that we finished. Have you worked? If so, they want to know about it. Let's add a job. I have been working as a fry cook at McDonald's. And I did that during COVID. So 2020, January to, let's say, 2022, January. They're not going to call your boss. They're not going to check on it. They're hoping that you're being honest and truthful, and at the end you will sign a statement that says everything here is truthful, or at least you will check a box that says that. They'll take your word for it. So now is the time where we will choose which programs at what universities you are looking to apply for. And here's our listing. They can list it by code, so every program has its own individualized code, which might be the same at the universities. Or if you know where in Ontario you're interested in, you could probably find things quickly by just saying Toronto, if you knew you want to be in Toronto. But here's our list of the universities. There are some private art schools, there are some public universities. Some are smaller, some are larger. So I'm going to choose Trent because they're coming to visit us after the holiday break. And it talks a little bit about the two campuses that you have to choose from, and articulation agreements, which is an agreement between the college from the two-year colleges up to the public universities. So we will hit next. We have not applied previously, so we're not going to click that. And we're not previously registered. And as it tells us, we're going to leave that section blank. And now we're seeing the program codes and the specific name for the program we want. So we're going to want to do psychology. We can see some links that go to their websites, but we're not going to click that for now. We already know we want to do that. And we want to enroll full-time in the fall freshman year. And that's what we have here. So that's one. And we'll add one of probably the more popular university on the OUAC, which is the University of Toronto. The University of Toronto has its own link that you can use if you are only applying to the University of Toronto. They have their own version of the OUAC. But if you're applying to more than one, you need to do as we're doing today. And that's at the University of Toronto at Mississauga. So we're going to select that. And we just want to do psychology, none of the other choices, first year. And these choice numbers could be changed, so you could change this to 1 if you had to, or you could change it to the other. And you could add as many as you need to. Currently, Verso International School has a policy of 10 applications, and this does not count as 1, this is 2. Each of these are individual choices. So now it's going to ask us to do some uploading of documents. So they're asking if our documents were in another language besides English. They have a transcript evaluator that would translate and look for authenticity. We as students do not need to do that. And we can move on. So it's asking for a document to upload, and we'll submit that. And we can now see that it's in progress of uploading, and we'll hit next. We are steps away from sending the information to the universities. We need to verify our email address. So I'm going to jump into my email and click verify, which is here. There it is. And it wants me to log back in. Let's continue our application. And now that you can see we've actually have some new things here, our 2 universities are on the page, and we could add more here. We can upload more documents if necessary. We've already got our passport listed there. We could upload some transcripts. Once we've applied, universities will have their own portal for us to upload things to. So you don't have to worry about things if they don't show up here yet. Checkbox there. But yet continue is not here. So let's go into the next page. So we have a check mark. The background information is there. Our choices are there. Our supporting documents are there. And now, because we have opened up each of these to look, we can move on to the next page. And here's that declaration. As I mentioned, you're submitting accurate things. You're not lying about something that you've put here. And now is the part where you pay. After you've paid the money, it will then cycle back and show that you have completed your application. Your information gets sent to the universities that you chose, and then they will email you within a week or 2, sometimes immediately, with access to their portal where you might upload your grades, your course load, recommendations if required, and any kind of testing that you wanted to show them. You'll also order from ETS or College Board to send directly to the universities. And we have UniFrog to support the sending of transcripts if they don't have upload as an option within those portals. And that is the OUAC all done. Thank you very much for taking time to watch with me. And the next time we do an application together, it'll be a UCAS in the UK for 2024. Thanks.